All right, welcome back to the Explainer. Let's jump right in because today we are looking at a massive, foundational shift in how the internet's biggest search engine handles your personal data. For years, let's be honest, Google's privacy settings have felt kind of like a black box. But right now, we're literally witnessing an evolution. There is a massive update rolling out that completely restructures how Google stores our search data, our history, and even our media. If you use Google for anything, shopping, mapping, researching, running a business, whatever, this update directly affects you.
Actually, pause for a second and really think about this. Do you know exactly what Google is saving about you right now? I mean, most of us would probably guess our typed web searches, maybe some YouTube videos we watched at 2 a.m., but as we're going to see today, the reality of what actually constitutes search data has expanded dramatically. The stakes for your digital privacy have completely changed, and getting a handle on this new landscape is absolutely crucial if you want to stay in control of your digital footprint. Okay, let's dive into it.
Here's our roadmap for today. We've got 1. The big Google privacy update. 2. Search history and recommendations. 3. The new Media Save feature. 4. How auto-delete works. And 5. Taking control of your data.
Kicking things off with Section 1, the big Google privacy update, the paradigm shift.
You know how it used to be, right? Historically, your activity across search, maps, shopping, flights, hotels, it was all just bundled together under this one massive umbrella setting called web and app activity. It was literally an all-or-nothing switch. You either let Google remember everything, or you turned it off entirely and lost all those helpful little features. But this new update breaks the whole thing apart. Google is unbundling that single toggle into separate, manageable controls specifically for search, media, and recommendations. So you finally get to be the editor of your own data profile. Moving right along to Section 2, Search History and Recommendations, Text and Context. Okay, let's ground this with a real-world example. Say you run an e-commerce business, and you type this exact query into Google: best GST software for Etsy sellers. Well, under this new system, that query is captured in a brand new, dedicated bucket called Search Services History. And remember, it's not just the main Google search bar anymore. This specific history bucket also catches what you look up in Maps, the products you browse in Google Shopping, the flights you check, even the text you run through Google Translate. This history is exactly what lets you open up your browser later and just magically pick up a complex research session right where you left off.
So here is where it gets really interesting, what Google actually does with all that context. If you leave the personalized recommendations setting turned on, Google uses that GST software search we just talked about to actively curate your digital life. It's like a giant puzzle they're putting together. Suddenly, your newsfeed starts bubbling up Etsy SEO tips or Amazon GST news or Flipkart reports. You'll see related shopping suggestions pop up all over the web. This is the engine driving your personalization. But remember that paradigm shift we talked about earlier? Because this is now a completely separate setting, if you find these constant targeted reminders a bit too intrusive, you can just toggle off the personalized recommendations, and you don't even have to delete your actual search history to do it.
Which brings us to Section 3, the new Media Save feature, beyond text. This is huge, you guys. Up until now, when we thought of search history, we almost exclusively pictured ourselves typing words into a little box. But we don't just search with keyboards anymore, do we? We search with our cameras, we search with our voices, we search by feeding entire documents to AI. This brand new Save Media setting means your files, your voice, and your photos are now fundamentally part of your searchable history. Data tracking has officially moved way beyond mere text. Let's look at how this actually plays out in everyday life with 3 quick examples. First up, Google Lens. If you snap a photo of a cool product to see where to buy it, that actual image upload can now be saved right in your history. Second, audio. Have you ever used the Google app to hum a song that's stuck in your head but you can't remember the name of? Yep, that audio input, your actual humming, can be logged. And third, and this is absolutely critical for professionals, AI document search. If you upload a spreadsheet, let's say gst_report.xlsx, into an AI tool and ask it for a state-wise summary, the interaction with that specific file gets saved. Your media is your search now. All right, next up, Section 4, how auto-delete works, the timeline of your data. Now, if you are starting to feel just a little overwhelmed by the sheer volume of data being saved here, take a breath. There is good news. Google is carrying over its auto-delete rules to this new search services history. So if you previously went into your settings and told Google to automatically wipe your data every 3 months, 18 months, or 36 months, that rule still applies. It carries right over. For instance, if you had an 18-month auto-delete rule set up on the old web and app activity, it grandfathers in.
Anything older than 18 months in your news search service's history will automatically be scrubbed from their servers. It's basically a set it and forget it safeguard that survives this whole transition. Finally, Section 5. Taking control of your data. Your data, your choice. So what happens if you do literally nothing right now? Here's the deal. If your old web and app activity is currently turned on, Google is just going to assume you want to keep the status quo. That means the new search services history, the personalization, and those new save media features will all default to on. Conversely, if you're someone who already went in and turned web and app activity completely off, Google respects that. Your new granular settings will just default to off across the board. But let's say you want to get in there and actually customize this. Say you're that privacy-conscious e-commerce seller we talked about. You want your text search history kept so that you can quickly find old research, but you absolutely do not want your uploaded business spreadsheets or your audio hums saved on a server for years. Here is your exact game plan. Step 1. Go straight to your Google account. Step 2. Click on the Data and Privacy section. Step 3. Once the update hits your account, you're going to see those new granular menus. So you can leave search history on, but specifically turn Save Media off. And hey, you can strictly set that auto-delete to 3 months while you're at it. You have the steering wheel now. And that brings us to the ultimate question of this entire explainer. Where will you draw the line between helpful personalization and your own digital privacy? Look, Google has finally given us the tools to surgically separate convenience from tracking. But, tools are only useful if we actually pick them up and use them. I highly encourage you to head over to your Google account right now, click on Data and Privacy, and make sure your settings actually reflect your comfort level, not just some default toggle. Thanks so much for joining me today. Stay curious, stay informed, and I will see you in the next explainer.